skillet stew with pretty potato circles on top. We started with about 2.5 pounds for 4 people, okay, of lean chuck. So nice meaty piece of chuck, not too much fat. Season it liberally, bring it to room temperature, pat it dry, season it generously with salt and black pepper, and then I browned it in olive oil in the skillet. Now to the same skillet, into the drippings from the browning of the meat, we're going to add a slab of butter for our vegetables and let the butter start to pick up the fond or the drippings of the meat. Our vegetables I cut kind of on a big bias, you know, on an angle. And it just depends on the size of the skillet and how many people you're trying to feed. But basically, we want to look at the vegetable and say, yeah, that's enough to fill the skillet. We're gonna autumn spice our skillet stew here. I'm gonna add some fresh thyme to the potatoes and also a little sprinkle into the stew base. A couple of bay leaves, fresh bay, into the stew base. I'm gonna add a kind of a weird combo, but it's delicious. A small cinnamon stick, we're gonna pull it out when we put this in the oven with the potato top. It's in here a short time, but we're gonna add bay, cinnamon, and then a kind of a neat combo of a mild chili flavor. This is ancho chili, not very strong, so a little chili powder. Works nice with the cinnamon. A pinch of allspice, good fat pinch, like a quarter of a teaspoon. A little bit of cloves. And we let this hang out. Already, it smells amazing, and it's picking up all the color from the meat drippings. When it comes to the potatoes, think 1 potato per person. So a small to medium-sized potato for each person will probably cover the top of this guy. When we want to slice the potatoes, if you're gonna hold them for even a short amount of time, cover them with water before you use them so they don't turn brown on you, obviously. So these are the veggies once they start to get nice and tender on you, right? So we're gonna fish out our bay and our cinnamon stick. And now we're going to add our thickening agent and a little more layer of flavor with some tomato paste or semi-dried tomato paste. Good squirt of that. Give it a little spin. Then we're gonna sprinkle in just a dab of flour to help thicken the liquid. You don't want it to taste like paste, so toss that around and let the flour cook out a little bit. So we go a couple of turns of the pan with the Rosso di Montalcino, which is younger than Brunello and less expensive. Any good dry Italian wine, not too fruity. So now we're gonna tuck the meat down into that delicious hot mess, our 1 skillet supper here. And you're gonna add your bone broth or stock, a couple of cups. You just want it to come up to where the meat and the veg ends, nice and saucy. Then we're gonna take our potatoes, give them a little shake. I've got the oven nice and hot to about 325. And you're going to make a layer of potatoes that goes all the way around like a concentric circle, right? You make a nice potato top. You go around and around. You get the gist. I'm gonna skip ahead because it's only an hour-long show. When the potatoes are all done and the entire top is covered, take a lot of crushed garlic butter and put it all over the top of the taters. A little S&P. And that other bit of thyme, remember? We put a little in the stew bottom here. Then you cover this sucker with foil. And you put it in the oven until the meat is just tender, and that depends on how large you cut the cubes of the chuck. These were about 1.5 inches to yield 1 12-inch cast iron skillet. And I pop that in there, 90 minutes to 2 hours. And then take the top off, put more butter on the potatoes, and turn the broiler on, and just let the top get nice and brown, and you're good to go.